Voters in New Zealand go to the polls tomorrow after a year marked by a series of disasters. Prime Minister John Key has won much praise for his handling of the crises, in particular for his leadership during the Christchurch earthquakes. The latest polling suggests his National Party will increase its vote. And if the turnout is good in a country where voting is not compulsory, it may even win enough seats to govern in its own right. New Zealand correspondent Dominic Schwartz reports.
Out in front, but still racing for the finish line.
We know it's closer than people think.
The Prime Minister's greatest worry?
People just not turning up thinking that National's doing well in the polls.
Order.
Over the past 3 years, the National Party has governed with the support of 3 minor parties. 2 may struggle to get back in: United Future and ACT, the National's largest ally.
The most likely outcome is a National Party government led by John Key, possibly with the help of the Maori Party and perhaps 1 or 2 other MPs.
John Key tried to throw ACT a lifeline by having a photo opportunity cuppa with ACT candidate John Banks. But it turned into the teapot tape affair. The Prime Minister calling in police after accusing a cameraman of covertly recording the 2 men's conversation.
Well, I'm not going to go into the details of the tape.
But maverick former MP Winston Peters did, alluding to internal strife within the ruling coalition.
Mr Banks describes his leader, Mr Brash, as, and I quote him, a strange fellow. And Mr Key confirms that view with an, "Oh yes, we've been down that road before."
The ensuing publicity has given Mr Peters a fighting chance of returning to Parliament with his New Zealand First Party. John Key has said he won't work with him.
The nightmare for National, in fact, is if Winston Peters gets back in and their current allies, ACT and United Future, don't. That would bring the 2 centre-right blocks and the centre-left blocks very close together.
Both the National and Labour Party have said they'll balance the books within 3 years. The budget deficit is a record $13.5 billion Australian dollars. John Key has campaigned on being a safe pair of hands in a time of global financial turmoil.
You've got a global debt crisis, and Labour's proposition for New Zealanders is we'll put more debt, more on the credit card, and we'll hope we'll work it all out.
National says it would raise capital by selling up to 49% of state-owned energy companies and Air New Zealand.
If you're in business and you've got a debt problem, you don't sell your best performing assets, and they are our best performing assets.
But the National Party's best asset appears to be John Key himself.
I really like him as a person. He comes across as really genuine as well.
Polls show at least 2/3 of voters are opposed to asset sales.
It hasn't apparently hurt National all that much.
Why's that?
Because, well, we've had personality over policy, and Key's winning the personality hands down.
He won only public praise for his handling of the Christchurch earthquakes and Pike River mine disaster. But the Rena oil spill gave the Greens a media platform.
Party vote Green.
They hope to boost their vote from 7% to at least 12%, and for the first time have not categorically ruled out working with a National-led government. New Zealanders should know tomorrow night who'll be leading their government, but the exact makeup may take a bit of hammering out. Unless John Key manages to do what no one else has done under the current electoral system, get his party into government in its own right. Dominic Schwartz, Late Line.